which is $10 below what we've had it as a sale price. At 99, retails for 129.
Okay, we are live.
Okay.
God, it's already Thursday, right?
Yes, sir. It's crazy, isn't it?
What happened?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Great. Okay.
Computer audio.
Mike Weezer just joined. Who's crazy? Not you, Mike. Looks like a fox. Hey, Sean.
Sean, can you hear us?
I don't know that he can. Here, let me chat with him.
That's better. Chat. Can you hear us? Can't.
I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you
Can't
now.
hear you though. Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
How about now?
I still have no sound for some reason. and it's working on my end. I can hear other sounds through the headset.
Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, can't hear me.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, will do.
Hi, I'm Tyler and welcome back to our Explore FirstLight series. Today we're going to talk about the Newtonian, and specifically this is a 114 millimeter Newtonian with a 4.5 inch mirror. How these Newtonians work is light will enter through the main objective, bounce off the primary, hit the secondary, and goes right into our diagonal, or our rack and pinion with an eyepiece or our cell phone adapter. This has 40 millimeters of draw tube, and now all these telescopes come with a red dot finder, a 25 millimeter colossal, and a cell phone adapter. Now with these particular FirstLight telescopes, they always come with a couple of options as far as mounts. The EQ3, a nano mount, a Twilight 1, or an Alt-Az mount. Now, with these particular telescopes, it is always recommended that you get multiple eyepieces. And I always recommend the 52 degree series that we see here, also with a focal extender. Usually 2 times is plenty enough. Now, with these eyepieces, they are waterproof and argon purged, and they make a perfect addition to these telescopes to help you visually acquire what you're wanting to see. Now, again, I hope you guys tune in for our next episode. We're going to be talking about our 80 millimeter refractor on the FirstLight series. And again, my name is Tyler, and I hope you have clear skies and keep looking up.
Well, hello everybody. This is Scott Roberts of Explore Scientific, and this is the FirstLight Chronicles program. I think it's our 7th episode. We were supposed to have Sean Nielsen on with us today, but we've got like some technical issues. So probably what we can do is. You know, if he can come back on, we can try. But otherwise, we'll have him on tomorrow. So that's the deal. Sometimes we run into these kinds of things. But anyhow, we've got some exciting things going on. Tomorrow night, we are working with the Von Braun Astronomical Society. They are the first astronomy club to co-host the Global Star Party program, and so I'm really excited about that. We have a nice lineup of speakers and astrophotographers that will be coming on board for this program. Don Martin is the president of the Von Braun Astronomical Society, and he's playing host on this program. So. But like every Global Star Party, we will have David Levy open the program with a nice talk, probably some poetry. Sometimes he sings, so that's really cool. But the idea about having an astronomy club co-host this is that during this pandemic, we've run into a scenario where we found that there are a lot of astronomy clubs that are not doing very much, okay? Maybe they're having the occasional Zoom meeting or something like that amongst themselves, but The idea with a lot of astronomy clubs is that they like to do outreach. They want to get out to the general public. And, this is an opportunity for them to do that. We get views of the Global Star Party literally around the world, and often resulting in thousands and thousands of views ultimately on these programs. Also, it is an opportunity for them to learn how to do broadcasting, how to run one of these programs, and so. Sean, are you still no audio? Check things out.
No, I got it. I got it fixed, I think. I'm good.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yay.
That's great. Okay. Now, this is also my fault. I saw as we were rushing through the day here, really very late, that Sean Nielsen was joining us today. I had it up on the calendar. And I literally reached out to him at the last second, and he right on time, which was awesome.
I try.
Yeah, you were good. You're good. Your room's got some that very cool mood lighting going on in here. This is
it's YouTube lighting.
Oh, it's YouTube lighting. Okay, well, that's very cool.
Create some ambience.
Sean is our special guest today. So, Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
what you'd like to do?
Okay. Well, I am an astrophotographer, and I got my start actually when I was younger. I was really young when I first started looking at the moon and whatnot. My dad had a small telescope, would look through that, and in my teenage years, I got more interested into it and built my own telescopes and dabbled in some astrophotography at the time. It was not like it is today at all. Didn't have computer control, and it was using film. We were using film and cold cameras. I had a Jack Newton cold camera. I don't know if anyone remembers those, but you'd load a piece of film in with some dry ice and expose it.
That's right.
Yeah.
The cold camera.
Yeah, the cold camera. So that was one thing I did.
Wow, that goes way back.
Yeah, that goes really far back for sure. Yeah, and it was fun trying to store the dry ice too, because it didn't, even in a deep freezer, it didn't last.
It doesn't last. That's right.
Yeah. So, but I was dabbling in it quite a bit, and it was a big interest to me. Photographed Comet Halley back then with the DSLR. And tried different experiments, building different scopes and cameras. I even did my own developing. Had a little studio downstairs in the family home that I would go down in a dark room and basically develop the film that I had taken pictures of Saturn or Jupiter, the moon, and whatnot. I tried for some deep sky objects back then, but it was really difficult. You were guiding with an illuminated rectangle eyepiece manually, trying to keep the guide star in place. So that was pretty crazy.
That was tough.
Yeah. Right? Those didn't work out too well, those photos. But that led me for many years. I enjoyed that, and I actually stepped away from the hobby for about 20 years. Still kept in touch with it, magazines and news articles, things like that. More of an armchair astronomer. But it was 2008, the summer of 2008, when I decided that I was keenly interested again, and decided to purchase a telescope. So I did that, and I actually was guided. I was guided into the right telescope, the right setup. It was a Newtonian with an equatorial mount, and that was perfect. That would be great for astrophotography, but at the time, I actually was really frustrated with it, and I didn't have a good experience, so I returned it, and I ended up getting an Alt-Az SCT telescope, and that's how I began learning astrophotography. Was on the worst possible setup, right. And I did manage
very
to
tough Alt-Az.
Yeah, Alt-Az. It was extremely tough. So right. it was challenging, and I took some photos. They weren't great, but they were still. They were great to me because I was photographing, deep space, and it was the hobby had changed so immensely. You had computer control at that point. You had, the go-to capabilities and stuff. The technology had just leaps and bounds in advance. So it was pretty interesting, and I ended up modifying that SCT and Alt-Az to include an equatorial wedge, which allowed me to do better astrophotography. And I had gotten I was using at that point, I was using a modified Canon 350 XT Rebel. That was the primary camera that I was using, and I took some really interesting shots with that setup, and they worked out quite well. I was really happy with the results. I kept on it, kept learning processing, learning astrophotography, how to do the image acquisition side of it. And I got some images published when I was 2010, 2012, which was really encouraging.
Oh yeah.
And and then it just sort of snowballed from there. I just kept going with it, and adding, you added more telescopes and more cameras, and kept spending more and more money.
More money.
Yeah.
Sure. But it sounds like you were kind of narrowing in step by step into, a system or some systems that were really working for you. So
yeah, I had started. One of the best things I did was working with the SCT on the equatorial wedge was a big game changer, and it helped a lot. But the best thing I did was I bought a 80 millimeter refractor to do wide field imaging.
Okay.
And that was more forgiving. So I was able to actually get some really excellent results by piggybacking that on top of the SCT and doing the imaging through that. And as I got more results, as I got better results, I was just getting sucked in with it. It was becoming very, very interesting to me again. And I just kept going with it, kept running with it. And to this day now, it's just something that has developed into a YouTube channel and a website. And I do tutoring, teaching people image processing and stuff. And
that is awesome.
I do product reviews and stuff. Companies will send me products to test out and look at, and give my honest opinion about. And,
sure,
and, it's really fascinating. It's really great how it's how it's coming. It all started with my parents buying me a small 4.5 inch reflector when I was a kid. Yeah, they took me to. I don't know if you're familiar with Toronto, Ontario.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I'm about an hour west of Toronto, Ontario. So we took the hour drive to Toronto. I still remember it completely. And we met with a gentleman that worked at I think it was called Scope City at the time up here, and his name was Clive. I still remember his name. And
all right.
We ended up.
I think that Ray Kahn actually used to work for this guy.
It's possible, yeah.
Way back. Okay.
Yeah, that goes way back. Yeah, Ray.
Way
yeah,
back.
I ended up buying some stuff from Ray too. When he opened his own store up here.
That's right.
He wasn't. I don't think he was in business at that time yet. So I ended up buying. We ended up buying this 4.5 inch reflector, and that just started the whole thing, the whole snowball rolling at that point. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, Sean, what is it that you feel? I mean, what is the most rewarding part of this? I mean, you're seeing your images getting better and better, but and you're sharing this experience with people. So is it the outreach? Is it you being able to see details and peer deeper and deeper into the cosmos, or is it the gear, or is it all of it? I mean,
it's kind of a combination of all of it, really. Everything is rewarding in a lot of different ways, but probably the most rewarding is getting feedback from people that from around the world that I have helped in some way understand something about the hobby, something that they were having difficulty with, or taught them something that they did not know, and has really aided them in advancing in the astrophotography hobby. So I get emails every day. I get people on Facebook messaging me and whatnot, and it's really great. They're all giving me a lot of good feedback and telling me about their experiences and how I've helped them.
Right. That is really awesome. We'll have to have you on one of the global star parties.
Absolutely.
Love to have you either sharing your image processing experience or live images, or both.
Yep. Sure. So. Yeah, if it works out for live imaging, definitely.
Sure. So, do we have the opportunity today to see some of your work?
I've got some stuff that I could show you. Let me just call it up here and see what I can do. Here, I'll start out with, I guess I got to share my screen first of all. So let me do that.
Okay. And also, what is a good website to send people to for you?
My website is visibledark.ca and
Dark.
visibledark.ca. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Rocking the mullet.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, so you can see that. Okay, so that's me as a teenager with my 8-inch telescope, 8-inch
wow.
Newtonian telescope. I had bought the parts for it at the time. I bought the parts, and with the help of my dad, we assembled it. And the tripod that it's on, that wooden tripod, is actually the tripod that was used for the 4.5-inch reflector. So I was really pushing the limits with this setup here.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was fun. I was starting to get into, the bigger and better telescopes and whatnot, and was having a blast doing it. So
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of aperture, good focal length there.
yeah,
So the
great
planets
focal
must
length.
have looked awesome through
Yeah,
that.
it was a great setup. It was a great setup, and I did a lot of observing with that setup. I didn't do so much astrophotography with that, but that was reserved for the 14.5-inch reflector that I had built. But I don't have any photos of that for some reason. I'm not sure where they are, but it would have been great to see it again. I had actually I ordered all the parts for a 14.5-inch reflector, and I imported a mount from Tucson, Arizona. And at the time, it was an equatorial mount made of wood, and it was called a Bigfoot. And
I remember that.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I
the
was going to
Bigfoots?
ask you if it was a Bigfoot.
Okay, it was.
They
That's
were
exactly
around.
what
They
it
weren't
was.
around for a long time.
No,
were
they
around
weren't.
Maybe 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, they weren't around long, but I did get one. I don't know where it is now at this point. I had actually, when I got out of the hobby for a while there, I had sold the equipment to a local astronomy club. So I have no idea where it ended up, but
But it had a huge shaft on it. It had big block bearings and
it did
huge RA drive. So
I wish I had a photo to show, because it was quite the mount.
Yes, it was.
But I remember making the call as a kid. I remember making the call as a teenager to Tucson, the operator down there, and I was trying to get connected to this company that was making the mounts. This individual, and I remember calling it Tucson, Arizona. And
Tucson.
And the operator said, "Do you mean Tucson?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds probably right."
That's very cool.
But
I think everybody's called it Tucson, though.
Yeah, I had no idea how it was pronounced, right? So,
right, sure.
But so this is another one of the telescope setups. So this was the SCT that I ended up using, and it was a CPC, a Celestron CPC 800, and that's with the 80 mil refractor piggybacked on it, and I used that for many years to do my imaging, take images. This was one of the images that I took through the SCT, the 8-inch, and that was the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula. And that one, that turned out really well. I was really happy with this one. Yeah, it was really, really fun to take that image. Another one that I took was the Eagle. I took that with the 8-inch SCT. That worked out really fabulously. And here, I actually should backtrack a little bit and just show you one of the first images I took of the Andromeda Galaxy in an alt-az mode. That was it there.
That's a great idea, too, because this show is really about beginning astronomy, your beginnings, and so I like it when someone that has gone through this, is now mature into astrophotography and has become successful to show their earliest works. Actually, it's very cool.
So this was M31 taken through the 8-inch SCT alt-az mode. It was a total of 8 minutes, and I was just super thrilled with it. I remember posting it online, and people saying, "Wow, that's awesome!" And I was just blown away by what I had done. But if you fast forward 12 years, this is now getting into the realm of the images that I'm taking of M31 and whatnot, and different nebula and stuff. So it's really progressed quite a bit.
Look at that.
Like, I mean, if you go back to that image and then you move to that image there, it's a big difference in acquisition capability and processing capability. So,
what camera did you use on the first image?
This one here was I actually had two Canon Rebels. So the first one was not modified. This was an unmodified Canon Rebel 350, and then
Mhm.
I would later get the modified Canon 350 and an image with that. But this was just straight. And if I'm not mistaken, this was at a full f2000, 2000 millimeter focal length. So f10, I should say.
How did
Um,
your jump from film to digital spanned a 20-year gap, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, definitely. I was doing the film, and that was when I was a teenager. And then like I said, I left the hobby for 20 years, and I came back to it and ended up in the digital realm, which everything had changed immensely. That was one of the appeals of the hobby again too, as I was thumbing through the magazines and stuff, and I'm seeing all these computer controlled telescopes and these digital cameras that were being used to take these images, and
Mhm.
it had advanced leaps and bounds, and the bells and whistles really caught my attention, and led me to want to go and buy a telescope and get back into it again. So
Very cool. So,
the yeah,
yeah.
I was just
Some
gonna say
comments
so.
here. Richard Grace says you've got the best show on. So uh,
Oh,
you got a
awesome.
lot of fans here. So that's
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
great. That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah. Gotta love
Right?
the fan base. They make it possible, right? All those people that have subscribed and leave comments and watch the videos and whatnot, they make it possible for me to continue doing that. So it's really fantastic.
Right?
What,
You
Um,
what,
you
mhm.
must be helping a lot of people that are just getting started in astrophotography. What do you typically see, and where do you see that what does it take for them to make big gains, which is what they really want, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. The best thing I can suggest, really, in terms of getting into the hobby and starting, is to get familiar with taking images through a DSLR and a lens on either a tripod or a tracker of sorts, and learn some of the basics of acquisition, taking those 1 minute or 2 minute or 3 minute exposures, and taking some darks and flats and understanding what those are and how they complement the light frames that you're taking,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to use that data to get into the processing side of it too, so you understand how it all comes together. But using a camera and a lens, or even a small telescope wide field, a very wide field, is a great way to start because it's forgiving. You don't
Yeah.
have to be as concerned about the guiding and tracking as you would if you're using a more high powered telescope.
that, that's something that's something we face, is that people want to start out with a 152 or a 127,
Yeah.
and we work hard to try and steer them to an ED80. And well, I want to. It's like,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah,
it's
I want
very
all this focal
forgiving.
length and all this aperture, and I want to go
Yeah.
out there, right?
And I tell them, look, it's like starting to, if you decide you want to race in the Indy 500, you don't start out driving Indy cars. You start out driving a go kart or something, or a dirt track car. You
Yeah.
got to start out and work your way up. And
Well,
Yeah.
first you have to
that,
get your driver's license, so that's the real beginning part of it.
Yeah,
but an
for sure.
ED80 is so forgiving.
hmm Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I started. Really, was aside from the 8-inch SCT, was using an 80 millimeter refractor, and that really changed things for me because it was more forgiving. It allowed me to, um, uh, approach that learning curve much easier than it would have been otherwise. So definitely a recommendation for wide field refractor. And they got a lot of great wide field scopes on the market now. You've got the Red Cat 51.
Yep.
You've got the new Raptor 61, which is now available. Even a 71 millimeter from William Optics, or an 80 millimeter from Explore Scientific, or Skywatcher, I should say.
Sure.
Got to throw your name
Oh
in there
yeah, we make
somewhere.
one too.
Oh
No,
yeah.
that's cool. Actually these shows, although we are, of course we're Explore Scientific, but
Yeah.
I don't make this a real branded thing, because
Yeah, you had said that. Yeah.
if you went to when you go to a star party, you're going to see all kinds of stuff, all kinds of gear, and that's really
hmm
part of the excitement and fun of it,
hmm
So,
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
I invite everybody. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
yeah, right. But Eduardo Simone wants to know what's wrong with starting out with a Porsche or a Ferrari.
No, yeah, well,
Well, you might go too fast and kill yourself.
yeah,
That
yeah.
happens actually that's a phenomena in Malibu a lot, where
Oh,
you
is that
get
right?
some of the newly rich and they go out and buy a supercar and they're
Yeah.
driving down the Pacific Coast Highway at over 100 miles an hour because you can get there real quick. And there's been more than one supercar found in pieces out there. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah, for sure.
really
Yeah.
something you got to be, you know, but that's but we don't want your hobby to go in tatters either. The reason why you'll get suggested to start off with something that's modest is because you can get good at it quickly,
Yeah.
and once you have that and you're focusing on technique like simply getting a great polar alignment, doing learning how to image process, maybe diving into like PixInsight or something like that, which I know that Sean, he teaches people how to use it. We watched Molly Wakeling go through an image processing routine with PixInsight, and it's just, and also Gary Palmer does the same thing on
Yeah.
some of the shows, which I'm sure you've seen him.
Yep.
There's a lot to learn.
There is.
There are so many controls. I like Sean started out in film astrophotography, and we were hypering film at that time. You were processing your own stuff, all that stuff. But we had nowhere near the controls that you have now. Okay, so if you compare it like that, digital, of course, is so much more powerful, so much more instantly gratifying, and can be shared anywhere in the world in almost a blink of an eye. So which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing what we can do now, and
Yep.
how far things have come. And the market, the astronomy market, astrophotography hobby is really being addressed heavily by companies producing different products for it, and the interest is growing. I'm actually really amazed at how the interest has grown over the
Yeah.
years with astrophotography. More and more people getting into it, and manufacturers coming to the table with all these fascinating products and great products that just they're mind blowing.
And the
And how
cameras and
the
the software.
cameras and the software and the telescopes and everything, it's just
Right.
it's just
Filters.
incredible. Filters. Yeah, we
The
shouldn't forget
filters are
filters.
the
Oh, yeah.
filters actually make it, I think, because of light pollution. Those filters
Hmm.
open the hobby to people that live in
In
cities
in
because
the
they can.
1970s and 80s, and Sean, you'll remember this. I mean, and you too, Kent. We, if you used a filter because of light pollution, you were losing so much because we were visually looking at objects with quote unquote light pollution filters. I remember telling customers that there really is no such thing as a light pollution filter. You need to go out to where it's dark. Maybe you can use a light pollution filter there too and get that extra edge, but nothing's going to truly fix a light polluted sky. In some ways that's still true, but in astrophotography, well, I mean, you probably have some great. In fact, I'm looking at your website right now. I see a beautiful narrowband shot up there.
Hmm.
The Fighting Dragons shot
Yeah.
that you have. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that you said you're only an hour outside of Toronto.
Yeah, an hour. Yeah. The light pollution where I'm in Kitchener, Ontario, which is it's one of three cities and five townships that comprise a region.
Yeah.
So we're headed towards about 600,000 in population, and
Hmm.
we're in a border 8 in terms of light pollution at this stage, and
Wow.
yeah, it's not good. And I've watched as like I remember as a child, I remember living Kitchener and Waterloo are side by side. They're twin cities, so basically no distinction except for a sign that you pass by when you're driving. But I remember living at my parents' house, the family home, way back in the 70s and 80s, and looking up and seeing the Milky Way. It was there. It was visible. Now it's
It's gone.
erased. You can't even
Yeah.
see it here anymore. So it's sad in that sense. But
Yeah.
at the same time, like you said, technology has come to the table and allowed us to continue to enjoy the night sky and in different ways. And narrowband imaging is one way that you can do it, especially if you live in the city. Definitely gives you that capability, cuts through the light pollution, and is rewarding in its own way.
Right.
It's
And
not
I think
like
in order to get good, you have to spend you got to spend a lot of time doing it.
oh yeah,
So
for
if
sure.
you had to drive out to a dark sky site
Mhm.
every time you image,
Yeah.
that's not going to give you the time that you need.
Yeah, I used to do that too. Back when when I started in 2008 up until about 2015, I would actually drive an hour away to a dark site that we had, and
Uh,
I would set everything up, and we would be out there all night till 5 a.m. Then we'd done, pack everything up and drive home, and we'd repeat that over and over and over again. It was quite grueling actually, but it was the only way to get away from the light pollution that we had going
yeah.
on. And then
Right.
I decided that just with schedule and different commitments in life that I had, doing that really wasn't conducive anymore. So I entertained imaging from the driveway of my
Yeah.
house, and that's where I dabbled in the narrowband aspect. I actually had borrowed an SBIG 8300 from a local club, and they had a filter wheel with some narrowband filters in it, and I hooked that up to a small 70 millimeter refractor that I had, and started imaging from the driveway. And it didn't matter that there was porch lights on and there was a big street light across the road.
Yeah.
I was still able to image and get some really great results. So that sort of cemented for me the ability to image from home, and it sort of grew from there, and the laziness, I think, grew too. it was
Wow.
really comfortable to be able to image from home because you could set it up and let it go, and you could go inside, grab a coffee,
Oh yeah,
whatever,
it's true. It's
no
not cold
worries at all.
anymore.
It's
It's
not
no
cold. You're
mosquitoes
not sitting
anymore.
out in the middle of a field. You're not awake till 5 a.m. waiting, to drive home. It's completely different. Changed it. So I was dragging a tripod out and
Yeah.
setting everything up in the driveway, doing that. And then I decided that I would go to the backyard and put a pier in and make things a
Perfect.
little more permanent. Yeah. Well, I had to give up some sky because we have a green space in the back with 70-foot trees, and it blocks a lot of the sky that I have in certain directions. So it was a bit of a compromise to make a permanent or what I call a semi-permanent setup, because I don't have an observatory. There's just no way to fit it properly and still have sky to image. So I, when my wife was out the one day, a friend of mine came over, and we bolted a pier to the concrete patio, and that was it.
That was
Don't
it, huh? Yeah,
don't
so
tell
it's
her.
already done.
She'll never notice.
And
She'll
I
never
know.
notice.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I'm still married, so everything's
Wow,
good.
it's good. It's good.
But she
Right.
noticed it, and I said, "Well, there's nothing we can do now. We already drilled into the
Oh,
patio."
there's nothing we can do now.
So
Yeah, Sean, I'm going to remember that one.
yeah,
So
it
that's
worked
right.
out well.
Nothing we can do now.
Well, I knew if I had asked if I could drill into the patio and bolt a pier to it, I knew it wasn't going to happen. So I just waited till she left and made the phone call. Okay, get over here now.
Right.
So I did that, and everything basically, I call it semi-permanent because I don't have an observatory, a roof
Yeah.
over it, but I cover it up. Everything is actually left out, and it's really great now because I get a lot more imaging done with
yeah.
this setup. And
Right.
I just have to turn it on and go inside and connect with the computers and program the imaging run for the night, and then I basically walk away, and I can enjoy family still. I can go to bed, wake up in the morning, and
Yeah.
see what I got. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. And I think that every amateur astronomer, if they can do that, whether it's stuck out on their patio of their apartment, if they've got that or whatever. Don Parker, who did planetary imaging for years and years, he had a 16-inch, big, long F ratio Newtonian,
Yep.
and he was doing some of the early RGB color imaging of planets and stuff on CCDs. Also made that transition from film. He left his scope out all the time. This thing was rusted. It was ugly, ugly. But the images and stuff and the work he got done
Yeah.
was incredible.
Yeah, it changes the game quite a bit. I was really surprised at that because you can take advantage of small opportunities that
Yeah,
emerge with weather, right? You get a clear evening and you can just fire it up real quick and get it imaging to take advantage of those few hours that you have before clouds roll in. Whereas when I was going out to the dark sites, great skies and everything, but by the time I loaded everything up and drove out there and set
oh,
up, you basically lost your opportunity,
that's
right?
right.
So
That's
so
right.
this really opened up the changed the game, anyways, quite a bit. And I actually noticed a huge difference moving to a pier mounted platform as
Oh,
well.
sure,
It was a lot more stable, rock solid, and the polar alignment holds
really
really
polar
well. Yeah.
aligned. You know
Yeah,
exactly.
I only polar align twice a year actually, because it holds that well, and that's actually really interesting because it's not. I don't have it. The concrete doesn't go 4 feet or 6 feet into the ground. It's not like that. It's a floating patio basically, a
Oh,
five
I
inch thick
see.
floating
And is
patio.
that why you have to change the polar alignment?
Yeah, sometimes it shifts a bit, just with
Okay.
weather changes and that, going from summer to winter and that. But the fact that it holds that polar alignment as well as it does is really is really fantastic. And that saves a lot of time too, not having to
Hmm.
polar align.
Fantastic, fantastic. And so, but do you still recommend that people get out to dark skies, or
Oh
do you?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
nothing like getting out to a dark sky. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. That's just, I just, like I said, got a little lazier about things.
Well,
Once you get a taste of imaging from home, and you can just let it run itself overnight. You go to bed and wake up. It's
that's
completely
awesome.
different. Yeah, it's awesome, right? And
That's
and
awesome.
I have a planetary setup that I had put together. To look at Saturn and Jupiter and try and take some pictures of that because
Hmm.
we're coming up to the December conjunction, right? Well,
Right.
that one I have to lug out onto the driveway and set it up in a line and everything. And I was like, oh, wow, this is just horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much easier to take deep sky pictures.
Right, right. We are planning on having a December 21st, a great conjunction star party. And
Awesome.
so
Yeah.
that would include guys like Christopher Go, and
Yep.
so we're going to be putting together a group of people that want to be involved in that.
Hmm.
Certainly, Sean, if you're interested in that,
Yeah, sure.
just give us the word.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we'll do. Yeah, absolutely.
mhm,
That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I look
mhm.
forward to that conjunction.
So, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our group today?
Let me just have a look here. So this was one. Let me just share the screen as well.
Okay.
Doesn't help to me just
By
see
the
it, I
way,
guess.
this is a great. It's great to have you on our show, and
Awesome. I appreciate you
you're an
having me.
awesome guest. So
Yeah,
thank you very
no, this is
much.
great. Yeah, I really appreciate being on. It was great to get the invitation. I was actually surprised. So I've seen your show a few times and that, so it just
No,
came out of the blue.
I really enjoy hearing from amateur astronomers and astrophotographers that have gone through the whole process, and especially people who are involved in educational outreach.
Hmm.
And I think that through astrophotography, that's definitely an important way of doing that. But you're
Yeah.
doing all the right things. You're out there on social media. Your website, definitely screams, please let me help you. So which is
Yeah,
great. I
yeah.
love
Well,
it.
I like to be available if someone needs help because the reality is that I had help when
Yeah.
I started out. I did not learn any of this by myself, and there was a lot of influential and instrumental people involved in not only getting me familiar with the hardware, how to use it,
Mhm.
and how to take the images, but also the image processing side of it too, the
Right.
software side of it. So, as far as I've come in this hobby, it's really It's really, it feels good to be able to give back and help other people. The fact that I'm able to help someone on the other side of the world is just fascinating.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I got people from the UK, Germany, South Africa, New Zealand, as well as people in the US and Canada and whatnot. And it's just crazy, how things
The
have
internet
changed.
made the world very
Yeah,
tiny.
it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, absolutely. So it's really fantastic that we're able to do that, and I'm really happy that I can do that. So
Yeah.
this was one of the scopes that I had as well. This was 2013, so this was an Orion. Sorry, not an Explorer Scientific.
It's fine.
I'm showcasing all these other brands.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Here, let me just Photoshop Explorer Scientific on it real quick.
Yeah, just put a logo on there.
Yeah. But I had bought this. Yeah, this
Orion has good stuff.
Yeah, this was the 10-inch and the astrograph, and I used that for a couple years. Really enjoyed it. I still had the modified Canon camera on it that we can see here, and it was on. At this point, I had an EQ6 mount, which really changed the game as well. Moving from the SCT equatorial mount wedge to this German equatorial mount was really quite an improvement for imaging. So this system actually produced some really nice images for me, and I had a great time. This was one that I would lug out to the dark sites actually, and that was quite the haul, because it's big, cumbersome, and it weighed a lot and so forth. So it wasn't an easy setup, but I still did it, and then I also had another SCT, a 9¼ inch SCT that I was using in the driveway with a ASI camera that I bought and a cooled CMOS. So that was my first venture into from the CCD that I had borrowed from the club there, the S-Big. I ventured into the CMOS camera and attached that to this SCT and was doing long focal length imaging from the driveway, which was an interesting experience. The CMOS camera was really, it was really, really neat. It worked really well, and I was really impressed with the download speeds, especially coming from CCD, because most of the CCD cameras that I've used, the download speeds are about 24 seconds or so, and the CMOS cameras are just a couple seconds, and you've got your image downloaded. So that was it was quite the improvement, I thought, in terms of that capability, because that little bit of time, it doesn't seem like much, maybe 20 seconds, but that adds up over the course of the night, and it allows you to get just that much more data. So this was an image I took with the SCT, of the Lagoon Nebula.
Nice.
Yeah, that one turned out really great. That was great. That was taken with a DSLR, actually, camera, the Canon 350. Yeah, that worked out really fantastic. And I was able to also take, let me just find it here. This was taken with so we saw the SCT that I had with the 80mm refractor piggybacked on it, and I was able to take a two pane image of Antares, which worked out really nice. Yeah, so that was the first time that I'd taken a mosaic, actually, and it was actually the last time too. I haven't taken a mosaic since.
I had a lot of work.
I had enough problems with it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're very challenging to do, that's for sure. So, but this one worked out really well. I was really quite pleased with it. This was one image that got published as well. So
and I can see why.
That image there of the lagoon that I had taken, that was published as well. That was in that was actually used. Well, not only was it published in a couple magazines, but Astronomy magazine used it as well for some advertising. So that was really that's great. Yeah, that was really fun. I was really happy with that. That's a picture from the dark site. Yeah, so that's the SCT with the equatorial wedge, everything set up. I had lugged out a bunch of patio stones to make a pad for it and stuff, and I drive out here and set things up at night and image away all night long until it was morning. So it was good times. We had really good time. There was a number of people, number of astrophotographers that got together, and we all did this together, and it was really fun. We had a lot of good memories made from doing that.
Sure. Beautiful.
Yeah. So the current setup that I'm using, it is the Esprit 100. Sorry, not to Explore Scientific again.
Okay. One day we'll get you into an Explore
Well, you
Science.
got to send me one.
Okay.
Then I can promo it.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, that's an Esprit 100 on the. I'm still actually to this day I'm still using the EQ6 mount. That same one that from 2008. It was a 2008 model, and it works fabulously. I get really fantastic guiding with that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm really amazed with it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been bugging Paramount to send me one of their mounts, but that hasn't happened yet. So this one is this is working great in the meantime, and really happy with it. So, and that's the Pier. I got that from Skyshed. Skyshed.
Okay.
Yeah, they do the observatories.
They make really nice equipment. So
Well, I got this pier. They make they make a really nice pier, and had it bolted, like I said, onto the patio. So, what else was I doing? I dabbled in doing remote telescope imaging for a bit there too. I'm actually going back. I'm going to be headed back into that, doing some remote telescope imaging. But I had dabbled in it, and actually, the Fighting Dragon image that you saw, that was actually taken with a remote telescope in Australia, and that's just 3 hours of data actually, which is so it's 1 hour each of H alpha O3 and S2, and because you're at a the telescope's located in an elevated dark site like that, free of light pollution, the data you get is just fantastic, and it's completely different to work with in terms of processing compared to processing data that you take from the city. A lot less noise and a lot more contrast with the images. So really, really fascinating stuff.
Beautiful.
This one here was also taken with a remote telescope and Eta Carina Nebula. This one here really this was one of the first images I took with a remote telescope, and it's only 15 minutes of H alpha and O3.
Now, where was the scope itself?
This one was in Australia too, at Siding Springs Observatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was through the iTelescope network. I don't know if you're familiar with iTelescope, but I took that through their one of their systems. It was, I believe, it was a Takahashi FSQ 106, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah, with an STL, an SBIG STL 11,000 camera. So, but 15 minutes of data, and I took that data over to a friend of mine, Ron Breacher, and this was in the winter time, and there was clouds and we had nothing to do, and I took that data that I got over to his place and we processed it and had a great time, getting together and working with it. Even though it was just 15 minutes, it was fascinating that the detail that we got, and
incredible.
So, yeah, it was
incredible.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So are nebula your most favorite things to image, or do you like galaxies?
Yeah, I don't mind galaxies, but I find it a little boring actually. M31's great, obviously. M31's great, and I photographed M81 and M82, and M33. I photographed that, but mostly nebula regions is really what's of interest to me, and I find. Well, my buddy loves star clusters. He photographs star clusters, open clusters and whatnot, and sends us pictures of that. And those are extremely boring. So I don't even go near those.
Right.
But,
That's right.
I leave it up to him.
Do you follow, who do you follow as far as the astrophotographers? Who do you, your peers, who do you really admire?
Adam Block actually is one person that I really admire for the work that he's done. Yeah, he's done some really fabulous stuff. But I also follow my friend Ron Breacher. Actually, he's actually a really phenomenal astrophotographer. He's done some really great work. He's learned the craft, and he's produced some really great images. He's come so far with it, and he's been inspirational, to me. In terms of continuing in the hobby and trying to get better and better at it. So, but then there's other imagers like Trevor Jones there from Astro Backyard.
Right. That's right.
I was talking to Trevor the other day. Actually, we're actually going to be doing a live stream together. We're just working out some details for it, but I mean, he shoots from his backyard like I do, and he's got this cool CMOS cameras and stuff, but he does a lot of DSLR work, and that. But it's great to see someone that taking on the challenges of imaging from the city and or a suburban environment where you got light pollution, and producing some really fantastic images. So I really respect him and his work that he's done, and he's really helped in.
His shows are so well presented. And,
he does a great job. Yeah, I know that. I was sort of picking his brain a bit when we were talking about some of his work and stuff like that, because he does some phenomenal job just editing the videos and stuff like that. If you're into editing
really
and stuff,
polished.
it's really polished stuff. Yeah, he does a really great job with it. So I was sort of trying to get some little tips and stuff from him.
And he's just a great guy. So I've had
very easy to talk to. Yeah, it was a really good time chatting with him. We spent it was only supposed to be for a few minutes just to test out the software, the connection and stuff like that, and it turned into an hour conversation actually. So
that's cool.
It was really awesome.
Also, do you belong to any clubs, any associations, any?
No, actually I don't. I used to belong to the local astronomy club, but I don't actually belong to it anymore. And I sort of just don't belong to anything.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. I was trying to come up with a way to explain
You're not
it.
a joiner.
I'm not a joiner. I don't want to be around people.
Oh.
But isn't that astrophotography? It's not really communal at all.
Yeah. I'd say that you're knee deep in talking to people. So.
Yeah, I know. It's certainly changed. Yeah, that's true. I find astrophotography really interesting because you can sort of be by yourself and contemplate, life and the cosmos and things like that. But
that's right.
In terms of putting myself out there in the YouTube world, especially, that really changed things for me. I am now, more out in the spotlight, and people communicating with me, talking to me, and wanting to get in touch and just gather some info, whatever that might be, tips, tricks, or learn something, or just share their experience in general. So it's certainly opened it up quite a bit. Yeah.
Wow, Sean, thank you. You gave us a nice peek into your world, and some incredibly beautiful images, inspiring stuff, and so I look forward to having you on. The Global Star Party.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
And some other programs like this. So
and I'll remember to put an Explorer Scientific sticker on my telescope.
Well, I have to make sure that one's there, right? So
yeah, we'll have to get one. I'll even if it's just photoshopping it in.
I get it. I know what we're talking about. So all right. Sean, thanks, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad we got the audio working here.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my end. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay.
All right, dude. You take care.
All right. You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So, Kent, how are you, man?
Good.
Good. We don't have a lot of time for you here.
That's been a busy day.
It's been a busy day. I know it's been busy for you too. What Kent does here all day long is he's working with our dealers. He's running down orders. He's also doing customer service. He doesn't sit around on his hands all day waiting for the broadcast to happen. So right.
That's true.
Yeah, but yesterday, the last episode, not yesterday, but the last episode, we talked about how to get a astronomy club going, okay? And now we have, a kind of a good follow-on to that, a good follow-on subject would be star party etiquette, okay? But also, this would not only apply to actually being out on the field, but what kind of etiquette should you have if you're going to do digital, sharing like we do on the Global Star Party? So this is something that you've been involved in a number of them. Okay, we're going to our 24th Global Star Party on Friday. So why don't we start off first with the traditional stuff? How should you prepare? What should you do? What are no-nos at a traditional star party?
Okay, traditional star party. You're in a, out in a, a city park or a dark sky location, whatever. But it come prepared to not use your phone, because the whole point of being in these locations is to let your eyes adjust to the dark. And when you turn your phone on, that
Mm.
bright light right there makes your
Yeah.
pupil get small, and suddenly you can't see this stuff as well at night.
And the people around you,
Will yell at
even
you.
even far away, what you might think is far away, like let's say they're 50 feet away, for
Will
example,
yell at you.
will
They
yell at
will
you.
Yell at you.
That's right. Turn that phone off, right? So,
And so just leave your phone in your pocket. If you can't leave your phone in your pocket, look up how to change your screen so it's just red, and then
yeah.
turn the brightness down.
And dim.
And
So
then
yeah, my iPhone does that,
right.
and so let's see, if I just click my iPhone 3 times, it says color filters,
Yeah.
and now it's all red.
He's got to use your disability settings to
Yeah.
set it up and make it all red. And then at a star party, turn that brightness down all the way. And
Right.
that brightness will really get dim, and you can still see it, still use your phone and use it for everything. It's just not got that bright white light coming off of it.
That's right.
If you take kids out there, kids love these shoes that have lights in them, but
Yes.
people will yell at your kids for having. They pretty well will leave the kids alone and not yell at them, but they grumble about it, especially if it's at a real dark site where you've traveled to. If you're in a parking lot or a city park where there's light pollution, that's not that big a deal. A lot of people bring flashlights so they can see around. Well, you don't need a flashlight. Your eye is a miracle tool. People, especially who live in cities, have never been outside in the dark, and they're scared of the dark. If you'll just let your eyes adjust for 30, 45 minutes, it's amazing. You could walk around, see everything on the ground,
It's true.
perfectly safe. If you're driven to have a flashlight, most of your big box retailers carry a very high-tech astronomy devices that you can use with your flashlight. What you do is you go to the party section, you buy the pack of red balloons, and you can get 100 for $1.50, and you can stretch one of those red balloons over the flashlight, and suddenly you've got a red flashlight where you can use it to see the ground, read your star map or planisphere, and still see. And that red light doesn't cause your pupils to get small unless it's really, really bright. And so that's typically not a problem. But smoking is a big no-no, because cigarette smoke, cigar smoke, whatever, tobacco smoke loves to stick to glass elements. And if you're upwind and your smoke drifts down, it's going to get on those glass, and some people are compulsed. So
They'll get miffed over that.
they get really miffed, and because they're going to have to clean their optics again, and you don't want to clean the optics. And so sunscreen is another way. If you're going to spray sunscreen on, if you're like at a solar event during the day, get a long ways away and spray that stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you're downwind, and then let it dry before you ever get close to the telescopes.
Right.
Running, no, because if you want to see a grown man cry, trip over his $2,000 or $3,000 telescope tripod, knock it over, and after he finishes crying, he's going to start looking for that miscreant who'd made it fall over. And luckily, it's dark and they'll never find you. But
That's right.
So. But when you go up to a telescope, everybody's they want to grab it.
Oh yeah.
They want to come and grab the eyepiece or grab the.
Andrew Corkill's also saying no bug spray. Okay.
Bug sprays.
Bug spray's another one.
Get downwind, spray it on, let it dry. All those substances, oily things, love to stick to the telescope.
And Richard Grace says vaping's even worse. So you got vapors now.
And vapors think they can get away with it because they can hide it real well. And I hadn't thought about that, but yes, vaping is another thing. But don't grab the telescope. It's just, you touch it, that makes it start shaking, and that makes stuff hard to see. So if you're at a star party, generally the telescope operator will focus or show you how to focus, but don't just start grabbing the telescope just because you can. Ask questions. Get in line, stay in line,
Yeah.
ask pay attention to what's going on around you.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, because we're all out there to teach you what's going on. And if you really want to have a good experience, at least at the star parties I throw, if you're really interested, stay there until the crowd thins down, and we're going to let you then take over our telescopes and actually use it. If you really want, wait until the crowds dissipate. Generally for an hour, hour and a half, we'll hang out and do our own little private star party. And those people who hang out and stay, they've got a big interest. We're going to embrace them and really let them take more control of a telescope than you would get just
Put them on a
when you're in
scope
line.
and let them go.
Let them go
Yeah.
and start using it, which is how
Right.
you learn what telescope you like to use.
That's true. That's
So
true.
online star parties, basically it's Zoom meeting etiquette. Mute yourself until you're want to say something, and then try and wait for a lull in the action. I'm a gregarious guy. I want to ask questions, and I have to really fight myself to not just blurt out a question in the middle of something. And so it takes a lot of discipline. And in the star part, the club meetings I've had, we've hadn't had enough people to require people to mute and sort of raise their hand to flag into the conversation. But the star parties, if you've not been to a global star party like Scott's talking about, Scott's worked really hard to make them fun and festival, and bring in music and poetry and the arts, and mix arts and science together in this big mashup of a fun community. And again, when you've got 15 or 20 people on the broadcast in the wafer board, like the Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares, you've got to have some kind of order and control. So if you're the person running it, I can tell you, Scott just doesn't say, "Hey, everybody, get on at 4:00 or at 6:00. Scott works it, and he prepares, and he comes up with a schedule, and he sticks to the schedule, because you don't want it dragging on. You want to keep moving, and you want to let everybody get a piece of the action of talking. Some of the early episodes we had, there were a couple of people that got on and waited for a couple of hours and got left out, and it just was no fault of anybody's. And we all felt terrible about it, and apologized profusely. Somebody really wanted to participate and they didn't get a shot. So I think it's really important to try and be really inclusive in all that stuff as well. Try and include everybody, give everybody a chance to talk and to share what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, and also too, I mean, in putting these kinds of things together, I learned a lot. I learned that you have to try to compress a speaker's time, but also if you have a speaker that's really got great things to share, and they're breaking things up, like Sean. I mean, he was just he jumped from this subject to that subject to this subject, and he kept it interesting. He kept it rolling. So that's awesome, and and that's why I let him go on for as long as he did. But,
You can't be afraid to use the shepherd's crook at some point.
yeah, that's right.
Stay in control. Whoever's running the meeting is going to have to stay in control of it somehow. And gently through how to win friends, influence enemies sort of techniques, nudge people into stopping before you just cut their microphone off, because nobody wants to just cut their microphone off and make them just disappear in mid-sentence. But Scott's not had to do that yet,
I haven't
thankfully.
had to do that yet. No. So, and most people are considerate of the other people that are on there. So, and that's so one of the things the goal with having astronomy clubs co-hosting the event is to learn how to run an event like that and broadcast it online. And so, I'm really excited about having the Von Braun Astronomical Society come on. I know that they've done some stuff online. I think this is their first time to simulcast, which is going to be a lot of fun. We are actually right now broadcasting live on the Von Braun Astronomical Society Facebook page. So that was a test we wanted to have on earlier, and the day ran away, and But I did check, and I could see that we are in fact live on that Astronomy Club's page. So that's really cool.
Are they in Huntsville, Alabama?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
figured.
the Marshall
Okay.
Space Flight Center is and stuff. So, it was really kind of cool looking at videos and programs and stuff like that that would pertain for that. It was also fun to create some of the intros and outros for them and work on their graphics and stuff a little bit. So there is quite a bit that goes into
There-
these star parties, but I think that it's important to keep people engaged in astronomy. I know they love it. I know they want to interact with other people. They're doing it right now on chat. I was asking, one of the questions I asked a little bit earlier was, how many of you have a permanent or semi-permanent site, at home? And actually quite a few of you do, which is good. So that's really cool. And I can see you sharing tips and techniques with each other. That's really what it's all about. That's why we go to star parties. That and to make friends, sometimes new friends. And so that's always awesome. Kent, that was good. There is some resources on the Night Sky Network that Vivian White directed me to, and I'm going to share those later, not on this particular show because first off I need to go find that link again. But Night Sky Network does have tools and resources and suggestions on how to run a virtual event. And so we're all doing this more and more. I really do feel that once we go back to not having to do virtual events because we can have in-person events, I think that broadcasting is still very important because we can reach a larger audience and have a permanent record of our program. So. But anyways, anything else to share tonight?
I was going to offer people some great discounts if you want to talk about that,
How
or
about
we could just
that?
do it next
Okay,
week.
I think people like that, so.
Let's just do it next week, Scott. It's getting late. They don't care about getting good deals.
No, they care. They do.
All right. All right. So we'll go ahead and do it. So let me share my screen. We'll talk
Now,
about
this
things.
is for Explore Alliance members. You have to be a paid member. You
Right.
have to be a paid member. So.
There we go. Okay. So
It's come up with here.
did it come up?
Yeah, I see the weather station.
Yep. Okay. So these are things we have on sale right now to paid Explore Scientific members. By paid, and let's talk about the Explore Alliance a little bit. I said Explore Scientific. The Explore Alliance is a membership program that has benefits of extended care and deals on all sorts of things. So the legacy is a free, you'll get the newsletter and stuff like that. The standard membership is $29.99. So you pay to get in, and then we immediately turn around and silly us send you a $30 gift certificate back. So you get your money back to spend as a gift certificate with Explore Scientific gear. If you buy the platinum membership, you spend $99 on it, and we turn around and send you $100 back. So you get your money back, and you get levels of care that the standard doesn't get. You can explore that on our website. But part of it is, for being a paid member, we offer you deals on new products and early bird specials.
At either level, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, at either level, 30 or at the platinum or standard, you still get the same deals. So right now, this is available in stock for sale for $169 through November the 20th. Explore Alliance members can pick this up for $129.99. Okay, this would be a great Christmas present for somebody who likes the weather and it's awesome. You have this to see what's going on around you.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to know what's going on exactly at your house too. I'm going to get one of these.
What's cool about this, okay, is that you create a free Wonderground account, okay? And this thing then hooks up to the internet, and it's connected to your Wonderground account. So now you can use a Wonderground app from no matter where you are in the world. You can see what the weather is at your home. Okay,
Right.
so for those of you that have remote observatories, this kind of thing, that's a really cool feature because you can see exactly what the weather is like there, and so you got rain gauge, you got wind, you can see predicted weather, all that stuff.
Right.
Jeff Wise wants to know how do you get the Alliance deal? Okay.
Okay, it's real simple.
Okay.
You email Explore Alliance at explorescientific.com. Scott's going to put it in the
Yeah.
in the
Doing that right
messaging.
now.
You simply send your name and phone number to Explore Alliance at explorescientific.com, and I'll feed it to one of the customer service reps, and they'll give you a ring and work the deal. Okay.
Right. Stefan Del Pra wants to know how much would shipping be to Australia? We would have to calculate
We'll have
that.
to calculate it, but
Also, the other thing we'd have to calculate, I believe that this thing just runs completely off the internet. A lot of weather stations have like where they get a hit from the local, we call it WWV here in the States, and that sets your, that's atomic
the atomic clock.
time, and so that would be something else we'll check. But I believe this unit runs purely off the internet, and I'm going to be setting up one of these on the Barbara Jean, the vintage Airstream. So I think that it's something. It's got this stalk on it. I think I can make something so I can just jam it in there, and when I'm tooling down the road, I would remove it. But once I get to where I'm camping, I would like to have that set up, and I have like a little pod that I can connect to internet anywhere. So I think this is a cool deal.
Some of you may be saying, "What's Barbara Jean?" Barbara Jean is a 1969 vintage Airstream.
68.
68. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
And that Scott renovated and named after his mother. He actually lives in it full time out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so he wherever he is, that's his home.
I love
And
it.
it's really cool. It's got a big Explore Scientific logo. Scott, we ought to do a tour of it for one of these shows sometime. People would love to see that. Do it with an iPhone or something. We come up.
I
with
have some videos and stuff. Barbara Jean, the vintage Airstream, has been to the Winter Star Party. It's been to the West Coast for the Golden State Star Party. It was at the USS Hornet during the Apollo 50 celebrations. All of the guys that recovered the Apollo 11 astronauts, all those Navy SEALs, they've been inside of the Airstream. They really liked it. And inside of the USS Hornet, they have the mission quarantine facility, which was an Airstream. Okay, so I'm an ambassador for Airstream as well, and I just love those silver Twinkies. They're cool.
All right, so moving on because we're running late.
Yeah.
We also have a new atomic clock.
Now this will not work in Australia. This only works in the United States.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. We probably got to
Yes.
put that on there just to make sure that gets out there. So
Yeah.
you can see the price is $24.99. I went crazy and dropped it to $15.99. So again, this price is good through November 20, of 2020. So get out there and do it. So it comes in white or black, same price. This is going to be a product that comes in. I missed it. The Finder base. We'll come back to it. Let's go to this. So this is the two-room pop-up tent.
Yeah.
You can see the $249.99. That's the public introductory price. We're offering it for $149.
Save $100.
Save $100.
Join
Okay.
at the platinum level. Apply that $100 to it, and it's just an incredible deal.
So this is a couple of pictures of it. It comes with a guy light, guy wire.
Was it
It's a top.
So
Go ahead, Scott.
what was the deal if you're a platinum member? What does the price come down to? It was $249 normally.
149.
$149, not $199.
Could be 199. Yeah, 199.
It's
Yeah, it'd be 199.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
100 okay. $100 off the retail price at 299. It'd be 199.
Yeah.
And the introductory price is 249. Sorry
There you
about
go.
screwing that up.
Yeah.
Boy, Scott would have taken that out of my check later on. I'm glad you caught that, Scott. Now, explaining that to Mama, not good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Celtic
go.
Raven wants to know, can you pre-order? Yes, you can. Just use that email address, and you can just put down a deposit, or you can pre-order it in full. And that's, yeah.
Yep. So
And Richard
easy.
Gray says, I feel like I paid $199. It is $199. So,
Yeah. All right. So here we go. The Astro red light retails for $19.99.
yeah.
I'm gonna whack it in half, 50% discount for Explorer Alliance paid
Okay.
members, $10. This is has a sliding lens element on the end of it, so you can focus it or have wider.
Focus. Yeah.
It'll flash. You know, it runs off of a single AA battery, if I remember correctly. It's not real big,
Right.
but it's really nice. There's a lanyard that fits. It hangs around your neck. I found it really convenient for star
There's
parties.
a pocket clip for, you
Yeah.
know, if you have a pocket protector, you know,
All right. I don't have any pocket protectors anymore. Maybe I need to get one.
I need to get one too.
So $10.
Actually, I have one. Yeah, I do.
And at that price, we have it's $10 plus $10 shipping. So if you bought it at $19.99, you're still going to pay $10 shipping to get it to yourself. Because unless, of course, you order some other stuff and get the entire purchase above $50, in which case you get free shipping. So, you can work the deal just right and save that $10 twice on shipping as
Right.
well.
You get the deal for the lifetime.
And here's-
Uh,
and- go
Richard
ahead.
Grace wants to know, does it have a flashing red mode? And I believe it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And here's the way to get it above $50. Everybody always needs a USB power bank. Now, this one is engineered to work with the Exos 2,
Unless you're
BMC8
Richard
system.
Grace and you make your own.
unless
So-
you're Richard Grace and you make your own. Lots of people do. Dale Beasley, who lives in Northern California outside of Stockton, he has, I believe, 3 of these. And through the wonders of Pacific Gas and Light, who randomly turn his power off, he says these are what allows him to charge all his devices. And he says he can't live without them. He said he loves them.
Really?
Yeah. He uses them as his backup power supply.
Power to get some light or whatever. Yeah.
So we can see the retail
Probably
prices.
can't run your microwave though. That's probably not going to happen.
Probably not for very
No.
long anyway.
No.
Retail $129.99, as you can see. Okay.
Okay.
So they've been on sale for $99 before. $99.99 has been the sale
That's
price.
true, and that's a screaming good deal for it. So
Yeah. So I decided to go to $90. I didn't tell you that, Scott, but we're going to go to $90
what?
for the next 2 weeks. $90. Okay. Sorry,
killing
I've already
me, man.
said it. $90. So
You're killing me.
I know I'm killing you, but now, and look, all of these deals, if you have your favorite dealer, pick your dealer. They're all, there's 90 of them now. Your favorite dealer. We don't want to take sales away from your favorite dealer. You call up here and tell me that your favorite dealer is, or put it in your email to us at exploralliance@explorescientific.com. Put in your email. You want this to be routed through your favorite dealer. We'll credit them the sale. They'll get money from us, and they didn't do anything. We want to support our dealers in that
They
way.
do things.
Oh, yeah. But they do things for us. They didn't do anything in this sale, is what I mean.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. You didn't have to go through them.
Some found business. That's cool.
Yeah. They
But,
get
you
found business.
But if you
So-
if you have a dealer that's been loyal to you and has helped you, you should support them. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what we
a lot
know
of hard
happen.
work. I was a dealer before, and I know. So
So here's the other one we have on sale through the November the 20th. This
Okay.
is the hybrid finder foot. Okay. So as you can see, $34.99. That's a heck of a price right there anyway.
Yep.
This finder foot, as you can see right in the picture, is mounted with the Explore Scientific / Mead foot, which is sort of they call it a T foot, right?
Yeah,
If you-
it's a T.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look above it, there's this sort of mini Vixen slot, which takes the Cinta,
Virtually all the other
Celestron,
finders that are out there.
Orion finder foot.
Yeah.
So with this one device, you can switch back and forth from those.
Celestron's using that.
And
Skywatcher
so
uses it. Everybody does.
this is solid anodized metal with metal screws.
Yeah.
This is a very well built. It'll fit on any telescope. On an ED80, you just have to tighten it down well. But
Yeah.
anything larger than ED80, it fits the curve. Now it'll fit on any scope. You might have to get up the guts to drill a hole in your telescope to make it work. But I know people that cut the ends off their Newtonians to make them shorter so they can get the light to come out. And I know people have done all sorts of things to their tubes. You just drill a hole, bolt it in, and go on down the road. The price, okay, $39.99. We're going to offer it for $10 off at $29.99 to our Explore Alliance members. So basically, you're getting free shipping,
That's crazy.
unless you pair it with something else and get it above $50, and then you really are saving that money. So
That's true. That's
you
true.
buy this and you buy the power bank, you're getting free shipping. So you're really saving a ton of money right there. All right. So I can't believe that I didn't tell Scott we were going to do that $90, but okay. He can't take it back now.
We'll take it out of your soul or something.
There will
okay?
be a job opening. There will be a job opening Monday morning at Explore Scientific over this now.
Well, Kent loves the amateur astronomy community, and sometimes we got to give him a good deal. So
Yeah.
I agree with it.
So, talking about
All right.
good deals. Hang on, Scott. One other thing.
Okay.
If you're thinking about buying something for Christmas from a dealer or from us, my advice is buy it now.
Buy it. Oh yeah.
I
Equipment right now, and still because of the pandemic, is
Mm-hmm.
selling out through the walls. So if you find it in stock, something you want in stock,
Buy it.
anywhere, get it.
if
That's
you're on
right.
the fence, get off the fence because the fence ain't going to be there in a couple of weeks. Okay,
That's right. Yeah.
The fence will get rebuilt in April or May of next year
And the
because
factories are still all running, but the speed bump of COVID, okay, has created a ripple effect. And once we, and we still have some stuff in stock. We still have some refractors in stock. We have no mounts in stock, okay. We need to update the IXOS 100 because it says back in stock in October, but it's really going to be,
Yeah.
I think,
It's-
December. And I think actually
No.
that inventory is already sold.
That's correct.
So,
Yeah,
it's
we have a
already
shipment.
sold, so
We have a shipment coming in a week and a half. Every one of them is sold. Maybe 2 weeks. Every one of them is sold. We'll fill our back orders and we won't have any left.
yeah.
We have some Exos 2 with PMC8s coming in.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to be very many. Probably won't fill the back orders we have.
Yeah.
And compounding this is the Chinese New Year that happens starting in February.
February. Yeah.
Chinese New
That,
Year.
that always happens. So that's another
Yeah.
it's another issue. So it's going to be spring for companies like Celestron and Mead and
Everybody.
Explore Scientific and a bunch of us that are manufacturers before we start getting flush again. So that's the problem.
Yeah. So if you want something, don't hesitate.
Yeah.
Get off the fence and buy it. Now,
So, Kent, you have a list of stuff that's in stock right now. Can you
I do.
quickly can you look through it and kind of give us
Sure.
an idea of what is available as far as telescopes?
so I send the dealers a report every Wednesday about what's on hand.
Yeah.
Let me open this up. Let me quit sharing my screen. So there we go. so I don't inadvertently share this. Because
Yeah.
this master
Sort of
spreadsheet
proprietary information.
has a wee bit of proprietary information on it.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so come on. It's password protected on top of that. And of course, performance anxiety, I mistyped the password.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so we have no DAR 102s. We have,
the AR 102
correct.
scopes, right?
Hang on a second.
We call them DARs, but that's just part of the part number.
You know, every industry has their jargon.
Yeah.
We have not a great stock of AR 127s, the
That's
doublets.
5-inch airspace doublet.
Right.
Yeah.
We have even fewer, getting down into danger zone of the 152.
The AR 152 doublet.
Right.
That's the scope that Jason Gunzel uses to photograph the sun and do narrowband imaging with. You know, and that scope hovers what, about $1,000 retail?
Ballpark.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Under that.
Under.
Under that, it's I can tell you real quick.
It's a 6-inch f6.5. An amazing instrument.
It's a beautiful telescope.
Yeah.
The 152 comes in at $949, $950. Free shipping, so it's really the price.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we are out of ED80s. We are out of ED102s.
Now, these are the Essential Series?
Yes, sir. The Essential Series,
Essential
ED80.
Series. So
Essential
this is the
Series.
ones with the FCD1 glass. Okay.
Correct.
But these are triplet airspace appos.
And the Essential Series 127, we have a few, not a lot of.
Okay.
I really suspect we'll be close to sold out of everything we have in stock because the numbers are so low at this point.
On the Essential Series. Okay.
So the FCD 100 Series 80 millimeter
Yeah.
sold out.
Wow.
Now this is in the FCD 100 glass, has much better light transmission in the red spectrum. A friend of ours, Clint Branham, had two ED80s Essential Series that he uses for public outreach for solar and things like that. And he wanted he says the FCD 100 glass better visually. And I said, well, it is, but you know, if you didn't have them side by side, you may not be able to tell unless you're a really sophisticated user. So he got an FCD 100 ED80 and put it with his Essential Series and called me and said, okay, get me another one quick. And side by side visually,
yeah, you can see it. It's a really much cleaner view.
Yeah.
That's true.
If it's not side by
visually, yeah.
If it's not by side, maybe it's not so noticeable. But if literally you have one on a Twilight 2 mount and one's here and one's here, and you go here and here, you see the difference on the glass.
Right.
We are the FCD 100 127, again, about the same number of, close to the danger zone of running out. The FCD 100 102 carbon fiber, you know, again, not a lot. FCD 100 127 carbon fiber, that's the telescope I use from the showroom, a spectacular instrument.
Which instrument again?
The 127 carbon fiber.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The beautiful telescope.
Yeah.
We're sold out of all the FPL 53s. 0 of them don't have them.
Right.
Well, we actually have a couple of 140s carbon fiber telescopes. So
That's it. Huh?
that's it. We have a good number. Not a lot of the Dob truss tube Dobbs, the Dob 1045.
Yeah.
It is a very popular telescope, and we will run out of that telescope. I'm going to predict maybe by December, early December, we'll run out of that telescope.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to have a fast 10-inch Newtonian telescope, a Dobsonian telescope, truss tube, That's a great telescope. It packs up, it collapses. It's got great optics. It's a beautiful telescope. If you're wanting one, I'm going to say you better get on the phone and give us a call. Call your dealer, get that thing ordered, because we will not have any before Christmas. By Christmas, mailed shipping deadline, we're going to be out. A good number of Dob 12-inch truss tubes, plenty of Dob 16-inch truss tubes. If you're wanting a Dob 20, those are a 3-month special order. We can get it for you. Price is like $600. They're spectacular. Either the one in the showroom. It is a spectacular instrument. The moon becomes a playground to let your eye bounce around in. Going to the FirstLight Newtonians, the FirstLight 114 on the Twilight Nano sold out of the AR, a doublet, 90 millimeter, 500 millimeter azimuth sold out. Sold out of the 80 millimeter, 640 millimeter focal length Newtonian, sold out of it. Sold out of the AR 102, sold out of the AR 102 Mazo 1. If you're wanting a FirstLight telescope, except for one or two.
It's probably easier to tell them what we have than what we don't have. So
yeah,
right?
No, actually, it's easier to tell what we're out of. If I don't tell you we got it, we've got FirstLight AR 127 on a Mazo 1, big telescope on a Mazo 1. Good stock of most of the MacCazes. The MacCaz 100.
Good scopes too, right?
The MacCaz 100 on an EQ3 we don't have any of. MacCazes are great because of the long focal length on planets and the moon. Long focal length are great.
Don't forget, we had that December 21st great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, and that is beyond a once in a lifetime event. Okay, it's not been that close since the 1600s or something like that. It's been hundreds of years that it's been this close.
So and if don't wait until the week before an event to order a telescope. I see that happen. Somebody will get a go-to telescope,
right?
And they're going to want to use it on something on Thursday.
Right. Well, they barely have any time to even learn how to use it. So
let alone figure out how to set it up. They don't learn how to use it. This is about learning how to use the stuff. If you want to have a telescope for that conjunction, get it now to give yourself 2 or 3 weeks to figure it out.
Jupiter and Saturn are out there. You can look at them. You can make sure you have the right eyepieces or the right filters or whatever it is that you need.
The Galileo scopes. Galileo scopes are great telescopes. For people who want to learn how a telescope's gets put together, they're spectacular. It's a kit, good directions. You put it together. We've had people who have used it to do astrophotography and done pretty darn good pictures with it. Not built for that, but where there's a will, there's a way. The price there is I can't remember, but heck of a price. And if you're an paid Explore Scientific Explore Alliance membership, you want the Galileo scope at a special price, email me. I'll give you a special price. Okay, so email that email. We'll cut you a special price on a G scope from now for the next couple of weeks. Okay, and eyepieces, once again, we've got good stock of a lot of eyepieces. Our most popular ones were sold out of. The 82-degree eyepieces are the ones that are shortest. The 82-24 and the 82-30 were sold out of. Have
Those
plenty
things
of back.
are always sold out, though.
Yeah, I know.
The 30 is one of our most popular wide field, low power eyepieces. Gets consistently extremely high marks on reviews on cloudy nights.
Right.
And these people put it through the paces. I tell you, they compare it against everything. And so.
But and we've got a big order for some coming in. I honestly don't think it'll last that long, even though we win a big number. They're going to move when they come in. So that's focal extenders are hard to get a hold of. We have FeO3 125. So 3 power extender in 1.25 inch IP size,
Mm-hmm.
and a 5X in a 1.25 inch, and that's all we've got. We're out of everything else. Um, you know, then we get into all the gear and stuff like that. So anyway, that's a quick, really rapid rundown.
Yeah.
I can't stress enough. If you want something, please don't wait, because I don't want to have to tell you, sorry, we're sold out, because I
And
already
we've
have
had
to
to
do
tell a
that.
lot of people
Yeah.
so far. Yeah,
You
they're
know.
going, well, how long is it going to take? Aren't they building stuff? Aren't they? The answer is yes, they're building like crazy. And, it's just that the demand is so incredibly high right now. It
You know,
really is.
the ED80, we had a conversation with one of the customer service reps. I think it was with Heath a while
Mhm.
ago. There's somebody who ordered an ED80 in July.
Yeah.
Just can't believe we haven't got it, back in stock. We have a back order that goes into December of 2019 for the ED80, and
Yeah.
it's going to be next year before we get them. COVID just poked a
Yeah. And
gigantic hole
you
in
could
that
not. I mean,
process.
no one could have predicted this. We had,
Yeah.
as you might have heard me mention before, we had dealers that had 400% increases in business. Okay,
Yeah.
there was never a comet or an opposition of a planet or anything. Not even the 2017 total eclipse of the sun matched the demand that was going on for this pandemic.
Well, Scott, I can tell you our orders,
Yeah.
the Monday order from this week compared to the same Monday before Thanksgiving a
I
year
know the
ago,
number. I know the number. It's huge.
it's like a 5 times increase. I mean,
Yeah.
so if we had, I'm just pulling numbers out of the hat. If we had 100 orders a year ago on Monday, we had like 500 orders this Monday. And it is an
Actually,
astounding.
the real number of orders was way more than that. So,
Yes, I'm just
yes.
pulling them significantly more than that.
Yeah.
But it is truly astounding what's going on. So Jim Norwood said, do we sell a 1.25-inch light pollution filter? Yes, we sell a
And we
light.
have a CLS filter,
We have a CLS filter. We have an O3 filter.
a
We have
UHC filter.
a UHC filter, an H beta filter,
Hmm.
all of those in 1.25-inch-and-a-quarter eyepieces.
They're
So
roughly $100
yeah,
for one of
100
those.
bucks. Right. That's correct. They all come in at $99.
And they
The
come in beautiful packaging too.
the
So,
the H beta comes in at $119, and
okay.
they come in the Explore Scientific Graphics box. That is a piece of art unto itself as well.
Thank you, Will Tyrion. So, thank you.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, by the way, Will Tyrion has agreed to give us a presentation. He's going to give us either one or two presentations. So I'm really excited about having him on. If you guys don't know who Will Tyrion is, here, I'll spell the name for you. Look him up.
He's Dutch, isn't he?
I believe
Belgian,
he is.
Dutch.
He's from up in the Netherlands area. So he is Will is perhaps the world's greatest celestial cartographer, and so he's made star maps like the Sky Atlas 2000, the modern version of Uranometria, countless star maps and stuff, but. He is also the one. Yeah, you got your Sky Atlas 2000. I have one too. So it is a really a great reference. And he's a super nice guy, and so I'm looking forward to having him back on. I've never interviewed him on a show before, but I know he's given lectures, and he asked me, well, how much time do I have? And I said, I like to keep the talks down shorter. And he says, well, usually my talk's about 75 minutes. And I go, okay, maybe we can break it up into a couple of these talks. So anyhow.
Well, our show has gone a little long, Scott.
Has it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a little. Actually, it's only been 44 minutes. We just started at 5 o'clock, so we've only been going on for 44 minutes.
No, we did not start at 5 o'clock. Started at 4 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, Sean Nielsen was awesome, and we were really happy to have him on the show. And we've been chatting back and forth here a little bit, and he's keen on coming back. So I think it's going to be great. We have so many more things to bring to you on these shows and on the global star parties and stuff. And frankly, we're just getting going. So I think once a week, Kent, you're on every week with us. I think once a week, heading through Christmas, we should probably give people updates on inventory so they understand.
I'll do a charter PowerPoint or something to make it a little bit easier to see. Yeah.
But guys, and the chat, thank you so much. I didn't read off all the names, but we had a ton of people comment. Apparently, we had a spammer on today. Sorry about that. I didn't catch it myself. But thanks for pointing it out. People don't need to spam the show. So, you guys, wherever you are, I hope it's clear tonight. It's reasonably warm here in Arkansas tonight, so I think I might go and go look at the stars. Last night, the moon and Jupiter and Saturn were kind of nicely lined up, so I'm kind of anxious to see what the sky's going to look like tonight as well. You guys have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, 2 shows. We've got Jerry Hubble will be on with Tyler Bowman, and then we go straight into the 23rd Global Star Party with the Von Braun Astronomical Society. Von Braun. I always said Braun before, but it's Brown. And it was great. Thank you, guys. Take care.
See y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.